Oh shit. I probably got like 45 fucking minutes. Not even. We'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. But we're just gonna play some Apex matches and listen to some fucking Tim Dillon. Who the fuck could argue with that? Who the fuck could argue with that? That's what I want to know. Fixing my kick stream real quick.
Welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We are here Saturday night for you every week, Saturday night or Sunday morning, whenever you are coming across this broadcast. I'm watching my friend's bulldog. My friend got, he had a baby. And he texted me and said, "Are you in LA?" And I was, because I was performing at Whitney Cummings' stand-up show that she had in her driveway. We'll talk about that in a moment. And I had said I would do it. I said I'd take the dog when you had a baby. I said, when the baby comes, I'll take the dog. You don't think anyone's going to actually remember these things you say, but you say them in the hopes that people will forget about them and then disappear from your life. But because that didn't happen, I had to honor my commitment. So he is here, and we will bring him, we'll get him on screen eventually, but we're going to just, so we may have to just, you may see us, our eyes darting around the room, because these bulldogs, it's like a little hippopotamus. It's like a little pig, and it just destroys everything. I mean, they can't procreate, they can barely breathe, they can't walk. I mean, it's amazing. And I was on the phone with Ray Kump. Ray Kump's like, "That's a pig." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "That thing's disgusting. Put it down." What do you think people say about you?
This is your champion.
By the way, I want to say, and I don't always, people sometimes notice something I'm in that's not this show. And I appreciate that. I don't announce all of my projects and the things I do here, but sometimes there are fans of me that will recognize me and go, "Hey, you were in that." I was on the Danny, that show with the rapper. Why am I blanking?
Oh,
I played
Danny Brown?
Danny Brown. I played Peeper the Telescope.
That's right.
On the Danny Brown. Get off the bed. Don't fuck with the book. And just get him. Yeah, he's going to rip it open. Just move the book. Please. I mean, just relax. Just stop doing everything you're doing. Just let him on the bed. Just let him on the bed. Let him sleep. Danny Brown, I played Peeper the Telescope. And it was a great honor to do that. I liked Danny Brown a lot. It was a funny show. The dialogue was funny. And now people have noticed me in the new Netflix film Cuties. And it's been an honor to be in that. And it's just such a real treat. I am one of the cuties. And I play a young woman who is being exploited sexually. And people are in arms about it. They're up in arms about it. I've not seen this. Kurt Metzger, my friend, I was talking to him last night, and he said this is an intersectional car crash. Because you have a woman of color director who's trying to, I guess, shed light on the idea that young girls are being exploited sexually. But how did they shed light on the idea that young girls were being exploited sexually? By sexually exploiting young girls. So supposedly the last scene in this film is so disturbing and such clear like bait for pedophiles that it's so absurd that there's nationwide campaigns, cancel Netflix. People are canceling Netflix, which I thought I saw cancel Netflix. I said, I have to do a Jenny Slate. But no, it's Cuties. I'm kidding. Love Jenny and the whole squad. But Cuties, have you seen Cuties?
I have not seen it yet.
You're lying.
I haven't.
You've been watching Cuties. That's a real sick. By the way, how sick is it? Like, that's the real fucking... Somebody calls you and they're like, hey, I found a movie on Netflix that's great. You might want to check it out. What's it called? Cuties. By the way, the name sounds like a dark web CP website. Cuties. And the marketing for the thing is not good. Like, the marketing for it is not like, we're shedding light on the issue of exploitation of minors. The marketing for it is like, look at these bitches twerk. That's the problem. The problem is the marketing is like, it's female empowerment. Yes, queen. I'm 11 years old and here's my pussy. And it's like, whoa, whoa. I mean, the marketing for this is out of control. Why does that girl in the back kind of look like Val Kilmer? The point is this. Terrifying. This is not appropriate. Get it off the screen. Just show it for a minute. We don't want to have this. Let's not have that be the backdrop, please. God only knows. The point is that people are angry, justifiably, at Cuties. Ben Shapiro had a good take on it where he was like, the message is getting lost kind of in the marketing of the film. Because I think the marketing of the film, you have so many different, buzzwords here going on. It's like female empowerment. And then also like exploitation. So it's like you have these young, scantily clad minors in doing very sexually suggestive dances on Netflix. The set is about to come down. The set is about to come down.
New kill leader. If they're getting cocky, they're getting sloppy.
Are you? Hold on. I'm going to get him. Hold on. This is the producer of Cuties. This is why he's trying to destroy the show. Stand up. Now sit. Sit. Please sit. Sit down. Sit.
Tango down. Putting lead down range.
Have you seen Cuties?
Reloading.
Is this why you're trying to destroy the
Stuck
show?
to the last one. Get
Do you have
some.
any respect for anything? When he first met Oscar, Oscar really tried to fuck him up. And Duncan didn't understand because Duncan didn't understand. He didn't understand that there was evil in the world until he met Oscar. And Oscar just tried to attack him for absolutely no reason. And Duncan's just trying to... Duncan, it's a podcast. I mean, what is the history of this dog? Like, these dogs, how did they even come about? It's so crazy.
Come on in. Old Painless
Well,
is
what
waiting.
the point here is that Cuties are really getting people angry. I've not seen it. I don't really plan on seeing it. I don't plan on seeing Cuties. Duncan, you're a cutie, are you? Now he's fucking up the sound. You can't do this, Duncan. 9/11 just came and passed. Duncan, what do you think about 9/11?
Reloading.
All right, you have to get down. He's such a monster. Hold on.
I like what I
Get him
see.
down. Say goodbye to everyone. We got to talk about 9/11 now, Duncan. He's so heavy. He's so incredibly heavy. Everybody, this girl I'm friends with on Facebook, she put a photo of Donald Trump up holding a flag, and she goes, 2 days after 9/11, she goes, he'll always get my vote. He's always put America first. And you're like, well, if that's all we need to do to secure your vote is to hold up a flag on the roof of a building 2 days after a national tragedy, well, then that's... he'll never not get my vote. Even if he serves 2 terms and he wants to serve another one, he'll get my vote because he held a flag up after 9/11. By the way, one of the funniest things ever that I've ever seen, there was this tour guide who was like this old, bitter guy, and he was just an angry guy when I was a tour guide in New York City on those double-decker buses. And it was the anniversary of 9/11, and he got on the bus, and like a British couple had asked about the heroism of the firefighters. Like they went, it must have been an amazing day. Maybe they were Australian. I'll never get these right. Some are British, and then some come out Australian. But let's say they were from the land down under. And he was like, well, it was real heroes that day. And the guy's response was the best I've ever heard. He goes, that's all a lie. He goes, I was downtown. I saw those buildings fall, and the cops and the firemen, he goes, they ran the other way. He goes, no one ran into those buildings. He goes, I watched it. He goes, so you can believe whatever lie you want. He goes, nobody was running into those burning buildings. They were running away. They were cowards. I swear, the whole bus was just frozen. They didn't know what to do. The guy goes, they were cowards. They were running away. And the guy was like, oh, he was just staring, like some Australian guy was just staring at him like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'd never heard that. And then he said to me, this guy, I was training and he on his bus, you know, and then he said to me, he goes, I'm not lying. He goes, they ran away. And I'm like, wasn't there. I was in Miss Rice's history class in Holy Trinity Diocesan High School in Hicksville, New York. I was sitting there next to a woman named Kate Butler, who now has another name. She was, and I had asked her for a pen or a pencil because I always didn't bring a pen or a pencil to school. That was my thing. I always said for 4 years, I said, do you have a pen? Do you have a pencil? Do you have the homework? You know? What book were we supposed to read? I could never handle it. I just was never prepared. I did not go to school prepared, okay? Unlike this show, which has so much preparation. So much show prep. I mean, hours and hours and days of preparation for this program. But I turned around to Kate and I said, you have a pen? And before I knew it, the teacher was called out of the room. She was brought back in, and then she said there was an attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. And back then, we didn't, the World Trade Center had been bombed already, so we didn't even put it together that was a huge deal. And then the Pentagon was the one that made me go, wow, this is war. Because the Pentagon, you knew, it's like, this is the civilian command center, the military, civilian, and, this is the big one. They're hitting the Pentagon. So I was sitting there, and I was in Miss Rice's history class, and I heard that. And the first thing I screamed out in the class, I said, inside job. They said, what? I said, it's an inside job. Don't you see that? I didn't even know what happened, but I just instinctually said, it's an inside job. And then I just started screaming, there are no planes. And what was strange is I didn't even know that there were planes. Trying to fuck the chair. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to fuck the chair right now. He's just trying to fuck the chair. Does 9/11 get you horny, Duncan? I screamed, there were no planes. It was sad. One of the kids I knew in school, dad. Really, a lot of people's parents. I called my dad so quick. I'm like, are you a Windows of the World? He's like, no. What? I'm home. I'm like, see you later. How great would it be to lose a parent in 9/11? Let's stop pretending that wouldn't have been the greatest moment of your fucking life. Hey, how's Pete Davidson doing? Pretty fucking good. He's not sitting here trying to keep a bulldog off his set.
Enemy squads?
I'd strap both of my parents into the seats of United 93 if I could have a tenth of his career. So let's cut the shit. Candlelight vigils? Where'd mommy go? I don't know. Bin Laden took her. Where's my movie? I'm sitting here for years, week after week. Brilliance. But because I don't have a parent that died, I'll melt my parents right fuck now.
My homeboy.
Judd Apatow, email me. Stop. He agrees.
Barking at the box of magic spoon.
He's barking at the magic spoon. Why? Because you realize it's a keto cereal? Is that why? Because it simulates the experience of the sugar cereals you liked as a child? Is that why you're barking?
Round 4.
Taking a knee. Patching up.
Enough with the 9/11 porn memorabilia. Can we stop?
I can take
That
out this
day we
last
were all
one.
Americans. Okay. Thanks a lot. You know, that day we were all Americans. Yes, and the day before, that too.
Rings
And the
bell.
day after
We need
that.
to go.
But thank you for making that brilliant point. There was a lot of unity in the early periods after 9/11. I've discussed it on this show. There was a lot of unity in the early periods after 9/11 in this country, but that evaporated pretty
Not a far
quickly.
ring. 45.
And we wanted it to. You don't want a country. You don't want a cult. You don't want to live in a cult. How are you doing? How weird would that be? Shut up. How weird would it be if you just walked around and everybody was in... Get him out of the room.
Easy,
Get him out
baby.
of the room now. Now you're out. Because you can't handle the responsibility. Send him out, please.
Wait, 2 squads left? I mean,
You leave now. We're discussing 9/11. You have a little respect.
Got 10. Rings close.
Put him in the kitchen, please. My point is that you don't want to live in a constant funeral. And all these people that are just glorifying the immediate aftermath of 9/11 as if it's the goal. As if that's the goal. To walk around with your head bowed, thinking about your own mortality every minute of every day. It's not the goal, by the way. And it was nice for a few days. A couple of vigils are nice, but you don't want to live in a vigil. So can we stop, please, romanticizing this idea? I don't like where we are now, clearly. We've gone off the rails quite a bit, culturally, in this country. But this idea that everything has to be right after 9/11 when it was so nice. It was nice for a few days. I'm just sick of all these people on Facebook being like, well, we were all Americans that day. People love talking about other heroic people. People love that. They think it makes them heroic by talking about other people that were heroic. You know? Remember the heroes.
Taking a knee. Patching
You
up.
know?
Rings nearby. 1 minute to
I'm
go.
just saying, I would have been willing to sacrifice more than I sacrificed, which was very little. I would have been willing to sacrifice more. And I think it's important that we all remember that. You know? So that's my little commentary on 9/11. It changed New York dramatically. And I put something up on Instagram about this. If you knew about New York City before 9/11, it changed New York dramatically. It made New York a victim. It made New York vulnerable. And then, you know, New York was this tough city that it was not nearly as criminal as it had been. It was getting safer, but it was a tough city. And then it became, you know, about Midwestern tourists coming to save New York City. That's when you had the Disney on Broadway start. Tourists were coddled and catered to. And it became a city that was very specific. It made it into a very general city where everybody can enjoy it. It is what it is. Eventually, it, you know, all the restaurants in New York City, a lot of them were French. And a lot of fine dining or luxury was very opulent in the 90s. It was very frilly. There was a lot of lace and big tablecloths and banquettes. And I mean, it looked very like you were eating in Versailles. And then after 9/11, that felt inappropriate. That felt wrong. And then the green market movement started. And, you know, all these restaurants kind of made themselves look half done. There was exposed brick and steel and pipes. And it just, you're more connected to your environment than you had been. You wanted to eat on a wooden table and things were real. And it really changed New York City. If you knew New York City pre 9/11, many of you don't. But it really did change New York City. You could take that down, but you could read that if you have any interest in it. But it was very interesting in the aftermath of 9/11, and I'm starting to see a lot of overlap between that and Corona. A little overlap between that. Corona. The constant terrorizing of the public has become unfortunate, but it was called by me and other people on the show who said this is real. This did happen. 9/11 happened. And it will be used as a way to constantly terrify people and to achieve aims that possibly were being planned long before that event, like Corona, like COVID. So when you have Dr. Fauci, who cannot throw a baseball, go out and tell everybody that we have to hunker down for the winter. We have to hunker down for the winter. Listen to this guy.
Spot a replicator
We should
over there.
hunker down. We could see a very deadly December. We need to hunker down this fall and winter.
This is a good LZ.
It's not going to be easy, says Dr. Fauci.
Negative.
I'm telling you right now, folks,
Strapping in. Hang on.
we're getting to a point now where you're going to have to start making your own decisions about your own life, your own ability to earn money, and the experts are so all in the pocket of somebody. Everybody is in the pocket of somebody, and they have an interest in you believing certain things, and they have an interest in you walking around and not questioning them. And I'm not saying that you should go out there and be willy-nilly and start, you know, taking all kinds of chances with your health, but I am telling you that I don't know how many young people this is killing. I don't know that. I don't know. I believe that this is still the vast majority of people that are dying from this disease are elderly, and many of them may have other conditions. That is still what people are able to treat this disease a lot better now. And I just don't know if we should constantly be, hunkered down. We hunkered down for 4 months. And then, as Roseanne said, people left their house when they were ready to kill. The great Roseanne, I did a podcast with the great Roseanne, an epic meeting of the minds. A legend such as herself and myself having a conversation or something that would get close to that. And I was very honored that she spoke to me. She's so funny. She's effortlessly funny. And she makes some very good points. And then she's kind of in and out of it as well. She's getting older. She said she was close to 80. She's 67. I mean, she's nowhere near 80. But what did you think? Did you enjoy the Roseanne?
She's such a legend. I was crying.
She's very, very funny, man. She's incredibly funny. And it's well worth a watch. Hey, do you take some DMT before that? Yeah, sure. Before that interview? Yeah. You drink some ayahuasca before you watch Me and Her? Yeah.
I need it back.
Yeah. I think it's a good primer for that conversation. You might put a little tab of acid under the tongue before you hit play on that one. Because it is a little wild, but it is well worth a watch. Very honored to do that with the great Roseanne. What is an appropriate gift, by the way, now that my friend had this kid? What's an appropriate gift? Should I get him what I got you and Katie for the wedding? Ben is angry at me, but Ben he doesn't believe that I sent him and his wife a beautiful wedding present that was lost in the mail because of COVID-19. It was lost in the mail because of COVID-19. I won't even tell him what it was like because I don't want him to be so upset. And because if I told him when I got him, he would be so sad for doubting me. He would then, who knows, offer to just work on the show for free for the rest of his life. Because he would be so indebted to me just because of what I got him that was lost in the mail due to coronavirus. We cannot find it. We don't know where it is. So, but I don't know. Do you get a savings bond? Can you get that? What do you get? Do you invest in this country, though, for the kid? Or do you buy him something from China? Because we're on the way out. What's the savings bond in this country going to be worth? Do you really give a kid a bond and say, cash it in right when you're about to go to college, when you can't breathe anymore?
I'm spotted.
I'm ready to no longer leave the house. Aren't you? See, California, we've been getting ready to just not leave anymore.
Down to target.
Because when you leave, there's ash and embers of dead trees in your throat, so you can't go anywhere. And the outside has now just become a hindrance for the inside activities you want. Like, you just can't get on the Wi-Fi because the fucking everything outside's burning and you're getting angry. And cell phone towers are up in flames. So the outside now, it's just annoying. The outside world's annoying. And that's why we're all going digital. We're all going to go into the void eventually, and we're going to communicate with each other digitally. We're not going to leave our homes. You're going to get Amazon food deliveries. You're going to have pedophile Netflix, and you're going to have whatever you want. And you're going to be okay. You're not going to want to leave. You're going to go, this is fine. This is fine because what's the other option? You're going to go outside in a full hazmat suit? Doesn't make any sense. I'm so ready for that. I'm so ready to just be in a good quadrant. I hope I'm in a good quadrant when they divide the country up into quadrants based on resources, which will happen soon, like District 9. Remember that movie? Yeah, I just hope I'm in the good district. I forget which one that is. But that's all coming true. The Hunger Games and District 9. All those teeny bopper movies will come true eventually. And, AOC will be one of the queens, and she'll walk around, with a scepter, and, you'll be like, oh, she's from the, she's District 12 or whatever. I mean, that's all happening. That's all going to happen. Just embrace it, It's really bad in California, man. I've never seen it this bad when you go out now.
Never have.
You're just breathing in. It's like a campfire in your car. You're breathing in this air. It's really, truly a problem. And then, of course, everybody needs to virtue signal on social media with all their photos of, like, the red skies. And, like, I guess we should have listened about climate change. I was like, yeah, I guess so. But maybe it's too late now, so maybe shut up. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. You're literally on fire. So what does it matter? I'm glad you scored that point. Glad you scored that point. Well, I guess we should. Is that the last thing you want to do before you check out is to score a point? Score a political point? Like the last breath of fucking unsafe oxygen you breathe on this earth should be used to get the better of somebody? Well, I guess I'm. What an American way to go. Just trying to best somebody in a pointless online argument right before you go. Magic Spoon, baby. You know me. I love the sugar cereals. Hard to kick the sugar. Very tough. Sugar into carbs. Addict. Releases that dopamine in your brain. Not a lot makes you happy. Sugar makes you happy. You think about when you were a kid, you didn't want to fucking eat Raisin Bran. You wanted Lucky Charms, Count Chocula, the real shit, Fruit Loops. You want to support that in this account. What is that? Does that come from the Stanhope bit?
I think so. Yeah.
When he's talking about strengthening up your shit pussy.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anyway, we would go have him on the show, but he's too far away. We're not traveling 9 hours for that. We're not doing Zoom with him. So, I mean, we love Magic Spoon. It's great. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the podcast, and we hope that you guys enjoy their zero sugar, high protein, low carb cereal as much as we do. So go to magicspoon.com/Tim Dillon, magicspoon.com/Tim Dillon. Here's the thing. A lot of people put way too much cologne on. They mismatch a cologne to their scent. I'm telling you right now, you want a nice scent. That is what attracts people to each other. Purchase. I did stand-up for the second time at Whitney Cummings' house. Whitney Cummings had a stand-up comedy show in her driveway or her basketball court, really her driveway area. And it was a lot of fun. Whitney knows all these influencers, like these Instagram. Is the proper term hoes? Probably not. I'm kidding, ladies. But these Instagram well, the teats are out. I mean, they're not influencing people to go to school. They're not doing a lot of adult literacy programs, from my understanding. I'm sure they have many philanthropic endeavors. But, you know, a lot of it is the teats are out. And they all have, like, deals, you know, they're hawking body oil for millions and millions of dollars on Instagram. It's not my demo, really. I like a working class
I'm gonna have to cut the stream short here, fellas.
I like a
Tell me
working
you like
class
them, you
family from
follow.
outside of
We
Philly
will be
that
playing this
begrudgingly has
later.
to sit in the car together for 25 minutes. Everyone's smoking cigarettes, including the dog, on the way to the show. Angry people that feel like they've been slighted. My audience is people that feel like they've been slighted, like me, because both of my parents survived 9/11. That's who my audience is.